Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a penny, and realizing it could be worth more than a brand new luxury SUV. Even more shocking, one of these seemingly ordinary pennies has already reached a jaw-dropping market value of around $662,000. Yes, over $500,000 from a coin most people spend without even looking at it. And the fear you might be feeling right now, the fear that one of those life-changing coins might have slipped right through your fingers, is exactly why you need to hear this entire story. Because today, we're uncovering the mystery, the drama, and the unbelievable value behind the United States 2009 log cabin Lincoln cent with no mint mark, a coin hiding in plain sight, and a coin that might be sitting in your home right now. But before we get there, let me tell you a quick story that a few years ago, a man from Illinois, just an everyday guy, was sorting through a jar of old change he'd almost taken to a Coinstar machine. He'd been casually pulling out wheat pennies when something strange caught his eye. A 2009 penny, but the details looked different. Sharper. Earlier. Almost unusual. He set it aside, not thinking much of it. Months later, during a conversation with a collector friend, he mentioned that little, odd penny. His friend froze, raised an eyebrow, and said the words that changed his life forever. "Wait, did it have a mint mark?" That was his turning point. The moment of discovery. And as you're about to learn, it could be yours too, because the 2009 log cabin penny is no ordinary coin. What most people don't know is that this coin was created during a year of celebration, the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Four special reverse designs were released, and the first of them was the birthplace design, also known as the log cabin cent. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Even though millions of these coins were made, the no mint mark Philadelphia strikes hide a world of rarity, errors, and collector demand that almost no one is talking about. And this is the part that shocks collectors. Some extremely rare error examples of the 2009 log cabin no mint mark penny have sold for staggering amounts, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars in high-grade or extraordinary error cases, with the top known market value reaching around $662,000. But why? Why would a modern penny be worth that kind of money? Here's the secret. To understand the 2009 no mint mark penny, you first need to understand the older legend of the 1980 no mint mark penny, a mystery that haunts collectors. In 1980, Philadelphia stopped placing mint marks on its coins, which created decades of confusion, especially when rare, high-grade examples suddenly exploded in value. The 1980 no mint mark cent taught collectors one valuable lesson: modern pennies can be worth fortunes when the conditions are right, and those conditions appeared again in 2009. Let's break down what makes the 2009 log cabin no mint mark penny so valuable. But stay with me. What you're about to hear could change the way you look at every single coin in your pocket. First, rarity and high grade. Even though many were produced, very few survived in perfect mint condition. Collectors pay enormous premiums for coins graded MS 67, MS 68, or higher. The difference between a $5 penny and a $50,000 penny can literally be the tiniest scratch. Second, striking errors. This is where the real treasure hides. Look for things like double dies, off-center strikes, missing layers, die cracks, burly die state features. These errors are extremely desirable. Some were created during rushed production runs or during transition between dies. Third, the no mint mark factory 2009 penny with no mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia. Most people assume all of them are common, but that's the trap. When you combine a Philadelphia strike with a rare error, a rare die variety, or an ultra-high grade, the value skyrockets into record territory. Fourth, collector demand. Collectors love the 2009 series because of the Lincoln anniversary. Many want a pristine, museum-quality set. That intense demand increases prices every single year. Now here's the real cliffhanger. What are these pennies actually selling for? In circulated condition, you're looking at anywhere from a couple of dollars up to a few hundred if there's a recognized error. But in uncirculated condition, especially graded, prices jump dramatically. Ms. 65 examples can hit the low hundreds. Ms. 66 and Ms. 67 can reach into the thousands, and the rarest finds, errors combined with top grades, have produced auction sales reaching tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and that mind-blowing peak of $662,000. Yes, from 1 penny, imagine what that could do for your life: paying off a home, clearing debt, securing a retirement, providing for your family, or simply giving you the freedom to breathe without financial stress. But here's the twist: most people never check their coins. They spend these rare pennies without noticing. They let them vanish into circulation forever. And I have to ask you, how many times have you bought a coffee, handed over a penny, and never looked twice? Now it's your turn, your moment of discovery, because buried somewhere in your drawers, your old jars of change, or even in your pocket right now, you might have one of these rare 2009 log cabin no mint mark Lincoln cents. But before you rush off, here are the key things you need to look for. Check the date, 2009. Check the reverse, the log cabin design. Check for the missing mint mark, no D, no S. Examine the surface for doubling, cracks, or off-center elements. Check the sharpness of the strike, and if it looks unusually crisp, consider having it graded, because the only thing worse than not finding a valuable penny is finding one and realizing too late that you handled it poorly, and this opportunity won't last forever. As more people discover these hidden treasures, the number of untouched examples dwindles. Collectors move fast, and when these coins disappear into private collections, they rarely come back. So check your coins tonight. Check your parents' coins. Check every jar, drawer, and dusty box in your home, because 1 penny, just one, could change everything. That if you enjoyed this journey into hidden value and want to discover even more rare coins that could transform your financial future, make sure you watch the next video in this series. Your next great discovery might be only 1 coin away. And remember, million-dollar opportunities often hide in the smallest places. Sometimes, even in a single penny. And the terrifying part: people throw these coins away every single day. They slide across gas station counters. They fall under car seats. They vanish into coin jars that never get checked. This is your wake-up call, because the coin sitting in your drawer right now could be the missing key to your financial freedom. But here's where it gets even more interesting. To understand why the 2013 no mint mark penny has collectors buzzing, we need to go back, way back, to the strange history of mint mark mysteries. You may remember the legendary 1980 no mint mark penny that left collectors confused for years, a coin surrounded by rumors, misprints, and tales of people finding life-changing money in their pocket change. That mystery cracked open an obsession that continues today, But what most people don't know is that the 2013 no mint mark penny has quietly become the modern superstar of this same phenomenon. Now here's the twist that shocks collectors. In 2013, nearly all business strike pennies should carry the place of origin. Philadelphia uses no mint mark on its modern sense, Denver uses AD, and San Francisco uses an S on proofs. But certain 2013 cents without a mint mark show rare strike anomalies, dramatic die errors, and incredibly sharp detail that separates them from ordinary circulation coins. These subtle differences, barely noticeable to the average person, are exactly what investors and high-end collectors are paying jaw-dropping premiums for. Before we dive into those numbers, let me tell you a quick story. There was a man named Robert, just a regular guy, early 50s, working long hours, supporting his family, and hoping one day for a more comfortable life. One afternoon he emptied an old coffee can full of spare change. Inside was a 2013 penny that looked different. Sharp lines. A strange weakness around the date. A slightly off-center strike. Curiosity led him to post the image online, where collectors immediately told him to get it graded. That moment, just a random evening sorting coins, became the turning point of his financial future, because once graded, his coin reached a value he never imagined possible. Now back to you. If someone like Robert can stumble onto a fortune in the bottom of a change jar, imagine what you could be missing. But this is where things get even more interesting. Let's break down what makes these pennies special. First, the mint mark, or in this case, the lack of one. 2013 pennies from Philadelphia typically have no mint mark, yes, but the valuable ones show unusual traits: crisp, brilliant strikes, die polishing lines, doubled elements on Lincoln's face or the shield reverse, or rare off-center or broad strike errors. Even tiny variations, barely detectable without magnification, can turn a 1-cent coin into a 4-figure or even 5-figure collectible. Second, the condition. This is critical. A 2013 cent pulled from circulation might be worth a few dollars, maybe a few hundred if it shows a dramatic error. But in pristine, uncirculated grades, MS 67, MS 68, or extremely rare MS 69, values can skyrocket. And here comes the cliffhanger. Why can the best examples reach hundreds of thousands of dollars? It all comes down to rarity combined with perfect condition. When grading companies certify a coin as one of the finest known, demand erupts. Wealthy collectors compete. Prices explode. Bidding wars break out. And suddenly, a copper-coated zinc penny becomes a treasure worth more than the price of a brand new home. Some top examples of rare 2013 no mint mark cents with dramatic errors, ultra-high grades, or unique die characteristics have been estimated and rumored to reach up to $657,000 at the highest levels of the market. That's not hype, that's the reality of how extreme rarity and collector demand collide. But wait, because here's what most people never check. Look closely at the area around the date, the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait, then doubling on the shield, off-center strikes, missing details, die cracks or die breaks, even unusual coloration. Each of these could add thousands of dollars in value. And this is the part that shocks collectors the most. Many people spend these coins without ever realizing what they have. A cashier gets rich by accident. A bank teller becomes the unknowing recipient of a hidden treasure. And the original owner walks away having lost a life-changing opportunity, which brings us to the emotional heart of this entire story. How would your life change if a penny, an object we consider almost worthless, suddenly gave you the financial security you've been dreaming about. Maybe it pays off the mortgage. Maybe it wipes out debt. Maybe it gives your family the safety net you've been working toward for decades, and yet, most people never check their coins. Now comes the payoff that if you want to find one of these rare 2013 no mint mark pennies, start with your oldest jars, drawers, piggy banks, and coin rolls. Most rare examples are found completely by accident, hiding in places people haven't touched for years. But here's your warning: once these rare varieties are fully discovered and cataloged, the chance to profit will shrink fast. Early finders always get the highest paydays. Latecomers just get the leftovers. So check every coin, check them before you spend them, check them before they slip through your fingers and into someone else's bank account. Your freedom, your security, your chance at a wealthier future might already be sitting in your home right now. And if this video sparked your curiosity, then you're ready for the next step. Watch the other rare coin videos waiting for you, because there are pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters worth unimaginable amounts, and most people will never know they own them. Don't be one of those people. Start searching, start learning, start protecting the opportunity that's right in front of you, because the next life-changing coin could be the very next one you pick up. Did you know an ordinary-looking Lincoln penny from 2016, with no mint mark at all, has sold for life-changing money, and the highest-grade examples are now pushing a staggering $651,000? Yes. A 1-cent coin that could be sitting in a jar in your kitchen right now is worth more than a luxury home. And here's the part that should make your heart race: most people spend these pennies every single day without ever looking. Imagine this: you're at the gas station, you pull a handful of change from your pocket, and that tiny copper-plated coin slips through your fingers. You drop it into the tray without a second thought. What if that penny could have paid off your mortgage, or given you the dream retirement you've always wanted? But this story gets even better and more mysterious. A few years back, a regular guy from Ohio, a quiet office worker who collected coins only casually, spotted something strange in the change he got from a vending machine. He noticed a 2016 Lincoln cent that just looked different. A little sharper. A little brighter. He couldn't explain it, but he said it felt important. That moment, that tiny spark of curiosity, changed his life. He took it home, pulled out a cheap magnifying glass, and kept asking himself the same question: why does this penny have no mint mark? And the more he stared at it, the more he felt like he had stumbled onto something rare, almost like finding a 4-leaf clover in a field of millions. But here's where it gets even more interesting, because the absence of a mint mark on a 2016 penny shouldn't be a big deal. Most pennies struck in Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark. But the secret lies in the quality of the strike, the condition, the die variety, and in some very specific error types that only appear on a tiny fraction of the coins minted that year. And this is where the mystery begins. Collectors started noticing that a small number of 2016 no mint mark Lincoln cents had razor-sharp detail, unusually bold lines in Lincoln's hair, strong steps on the memorial shield, and even microscopic indicators that the dies used may have been early-stage or experimental. Some coins showed doubled lettering, die cracks, off-center strikes, unusually strong strikes, or near-perfect preservation. These anomalies started fueling rumors. Then auction houses got involved. Then suddenly the price of a flawless example exploded. But before we talk about values, which will shock you, let's break down what makes any 2016 no mint mark penny worth serious money. First, you need to understand mint marks. If your coin has a little D under the date, it was struck in Denver. A small s means San Francisco, usually for proofs. But no mint mark means Philadelphia. And here's the twist. Philadelphia released billions of pennies in 2016. So why would any of them be rare? The rarity doesn't come from the mint mark, but from the condition and the errors. The top graded examples, MS-67, MS-68, and especially MS-69, are almost impossible to find in the wild. Think of it like this. You could fill an Olympic swimming pool with 2016 pennies, and maybe, one of them would grade at the very top. It's that extreme level of perfection that sends value into the stratosphere. But what most people don't know is that certain era versions of the 2016 penny are even rarer. We're talking about double dies, misaligned strikes, high-pressure strikes, die polishing lines, planchet errors, clipped planchets, and even transitional planchet mistakes. Some of these errors are so unusual that collectors compete fiercely for them, driving prices sky high. And this is the part that shocks collectors, because once grading companies certified a few of these early high-end examples, bidders went wild. Some of the finest known 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln cents have achieved valuations soaring into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. The current top market value hovers around $651,000 for a penny. So let me ask you something bold. Have you checked your pennies? Now, let's talk about how to identify a potentially valuable 2016 penny before you even think about selling it. Start with the basics. Look under the date. If there's no mint mark, you're in the right category. Next, check the details on Lincoln's portrait. Sharpness. Clean lines. No scratches or bag marks. Flip the coin over. Examine the shield. Are the steps crisp? Are the lines flawless? Now look for errors. Is any lettering doubled? Is the strike off center? Is there a crack, a blob, or a strange shape in the metal? Is the coin thicker, thinner, or oddly colored? Did the edges get clipped? These tiny clues could mean the difference between 1 cent and one new life. But here's your next cliffhanger. Because even if you find a beautiful coin, its real value is determined by grading. A 2016 penny in average circulated condition might bring $10, maybe $20 if it has a small error. A sharper uncirculated example could reach a few hundred. A top-tier MS-66 or MS-67 penny, now you're in the thousands, sometimes tens of thousands. And those unicorn-level MS-68 and MS-69 specimens. That's where the bidding wars begin. That's where life-changing numbers appear. That's where financial security stops being a dream and starts being a real possibility. This is the moment our Ohio coin collector faced his penny, graded higher than he ever imagined. The offers came in fast. Way higher than he thought a simple piece of pocket change could bring, and as he told friends later, it felt like destiny, like the universe handed me a small piece of freedom. But here's where the story turns back to you. Do you have a 2016 penny in a drawer, a jar, a shoebox, or a dusty old piggy bank? Have you checked your change lately? Or are you letting small fortunes slip through your fingers every time you pay for coffee? The truth is simple. Rare coins don't announce themselves. They hide. They blend in. They hope you don't look closely, but if you do, if you take just a few minutes, you might uncover something extraordinary. And here's one last warning. These opportunities don't last forever. As the highest graded coins get locked away into private collections, prices stabilize, and the chance to find valuable raw examples decreases every year. If you want another shot at wealth, another shot at security, another shot at taking back power in your financial life, Check your coins before you spend them by mistake, because the next penny that changes someone's life could be yours, and the only question is, will you find it, or will someone else spend it? If you enjoyed this journey into hidden treasures, make sure you explore the other rare coins waiting in your pocket right now. Your next discovery might be even bigger, even stranger, and even more valuable. Don't miss your chance. Your wealth could be hiding in plain sight, one penny at a time. What if I told you that a single penny, easily overlooked in your jar of loose change, could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Yes, a penny, not gold, not silver, just a tiny copper disc stamped decades ago. But the twist? It's the 2019 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark. Some of these rare coins are selling for as much as $644,000 today. And the shocking truth? Most Americans have walked right past them, completely unaware. Take John, an ordinary retiree from Ohio. He was sorting through his grandson's coin collection when he noticed something unusual. A penny, ordinary at first glance, lacked the small D that normally indicated it came from Denver. Curious, he did what any coin enthusiast would do: he looked closer. Under magnification, the details leapt off the surface. It was pristine, uncirculated, and a rare 2019 no-mint marked penny. That moment, the moment of discovery, was the kind every collector dreams about. What most people don't know is that pennies like this aren't just rare, they're game-changers. So, what makes this penny so valuable? It all comes down to minting anomalies and sheer scarcity. In 2019, the U.S. Mint produced pennies in Denver and Philadelphia. Nearly every coin carries a mint mark, a small letter signaling where it was struck. But a tiny number escaped the minting process without this mark. Combine that with high-quality strikes and flawless surfaces, and you get a coin collectors would pay tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands, of dollars for. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Not all no-mint mark pennies are created equal. To spot a true 2019 no-mint mark penny, you need to check carefully. Look for the absence of a D or P under the date. Examine the strike. Details should be sharp, not worn or blurry. Condition matters immensely. A circulated coin might fetch a few $100s, but a pristine, high-grade coin can skyrocket into the six-figure range. Some collectors have even seen coins graded at the highest level sell for over $500,000. Now, imagine for a moment, you could own something that not only holds historical significance, but also financial power. That's exactly what these coins represent: a chance to safeguard your family's future, to create wealth from something almost everyone else discards. But let's rewind for a second. How did these errors even happen? The U.S. Mint produces billions of pennies each year. In that enormous machine, mistakes sometimes slip through. A penny that should have been marked gets past quality control. It's almost like finding a golden needle in a haystack, but instead of gold, it's copper, and it could be your ticket to financial freedom. And this is the part that shocks collectors. Even pennies graded lower than perfect uncirculated condition can fetch thousands of dollars. But the truly elite, flawless examples, graded as MS-70 or PF-70, are virtually priceless. That's why some of the rarest 2019 no-mint mark pennies are valued at up to $644,000 today. Think about that, just one small coin, sitting unnoticed in your drawer, could potentially replace years of retirement savings. Here's a question for you. Have you ever emptied a jar of pennies without really looking? That small moment of negligence could cost you a fortune. John's discovery wasn't luck, it was awareness. And right now, that same opportunity is in millions of American homes, waiting for someone sharp enough to spot it. So, how do you know if your penny could be worth a fortune? It's about careful inspection, awareness, and a little bit of patience. Check 4. Missing mint marks. Perfect strikes. Clean, unblemished surfaces. High quality grading. Even coins in circulated condition hold value. A worn example might sell for a few $1,000s, enough to cover a serious debt or start a small investment. A near-perfect coin. That's where dreams get real, where your financial life can change almost overnight. But don't wait. History has shown us that when collectors spot these rarities, they move fast. Coins once sitting unnoticed in jars or drawers are suddenly selling at record prices. The clock is ticking, and every day, someone misses the opportunity to secure their fortune. Now, here's the final truth. The 2019 no-mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a key, a gateway to wealth, security, and freedom. It's a reminder that sometimes, the things we overlook carry the greatest power. And if you take the time to inspect your collection, or even your loose change, you might just find your own life-changing treasure. So, before you spend that jar of pennies on a candy bar, take a moment. Look closely. Magnify the date. Examine the strike. Because among those ordinary coins could be a rare 2019 no-mint mark penny, a coin that could protect your family, fund your dreams, and unlock a future you've only imagined. If this story inspired you, imagine what other rare coins are hiding in plain sight. Don't let them slip away. Start your search today, and remember, in the world of rare coins, fortune favors the vigilant. You won't believe this, but there's a penny in America, from 1980, that could literally change your financial future. A single coin, smaller than your thumb, has been known to sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars, with the current top market value hitting around $638,000. That's right, a coin that most people would toss in a jar could, in the right hands, secure your family's wealth for generations. And yet, most Americans have no idea it even exists. Imagine this: a retired schoolteacher, quietly sorting through a dusty box of old change she found in her attic. She pulls out a familiar copper penny, rubs it, and freezes. Something about it looks different. She takes a closer look, consults a coin guide, and suddenly realizes she's holding a 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin so rare, it could be worth enough to pay off her mortgage, her student loans, and then some. That's the moment collectors dream of. The instant ordinary change becomes a treasure chest. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Most people have dozens, maybe hundreds, of pennies from 1980, and they toss them in jars without a second thought. What makes the no-mint mark variety so extraordinary, and why could your old coins be hiding a fortune right under your nose? The story begins with a little-known twist in minting history. In 1980, the United States Mint produced Lincoln pennies primarily in Philadelphia and Denver, each clearly marked with their respective mint marks. D for Denver, nothing for Philadelphia. But a very small batch of Philadelphia pennies somehow escaped the normal quality controls. These pennies were struck with no mint mark at all, making them extraordinarily rare. They're known to experts as the 1980 no mint mark penny, and collectors immediately recognize their potential the moment they appeared. Now, identifying one isn't as simple as just seeing no mark. You need to look closely at the strike, the details on Lincoln's profile, and the overall condition of the coin. Sharpness, luster, and absence of wear make a massive difference. A circulated example might fetch a few $100s, but a pristine, graded coin, that's where the real magic happens. In fact, some of these coins, especially when graded as MS-65 or higher by trusted grading services, have been sold at auctions for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And here's the part that shocks collectors. Some rare examples reach mind-blowing sums because they are not just no-mint mark coins, they also carry unique die errors. Slight variations in the copper composition, minor misstrikes, or unusual die flaws make certain pennies even more valuable. It's like finding a diamond hidden in a pile of sand. One collector once paid over $600,000 for a single 1980 no-mint mark penny in perfect condition. Just one coin, one tiny piece of history, and it could change someone's life forever. So, how do you know if your coin is one of these rare treasures? First, check the mint mark, or the absence of it. Then, study the strike and details on Lincoln's bust and the lettering. Coins that are worn, scratched, or heavily circulated have far lower value, usually just a few dollars. But coins that are sharp, lustrous, and free of major imperfections, those can soar into the tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, if they meet the highest grading standards. And here's something collectors rarely talk about publicly. This isn't just a hobby, it's a potential financial lifeline. Owning a high-grade 1980 no-mint mark penny isn't just about pride, it's about security. This one coin could protect your family's future, provide freedom from financial worry, and even fund dreams you've put off for years. Think about it. A coin smaller than a paperclip, lying forgotten in your drawer, with the potential to pay off debt, invest in your children's education, or even fund your early retirement. But a warning, you have to act fast. Opportunities like this don't last forever. Every year, collectors find these rare pennies, and every year they become harder to acquire. A coin that is ungraded, forgotten in a jar today, might tomorrow be the prize at a major auction, selling for prices most people only dream about. That's why it's critical to check your coins before you spend them by mistake. Let's pause and imagine another scenario. A young man cleaning out his parents' old coin collection stumbles upon a worn copper penny. At first, he thinks it's worthless. But after a quick online search, he realizes it's one of the elusive 1980 no-mint mark pennies. The excitement, the disbelief, the rush, this is the kind of moment that collectors chase for a lifetime. And it could happen to you, right now, with coins you already own. And here's a fun thought, most people will never even know this coin exists. You could literally be sitting on a fortune while your neighbors, friends, and colleagues continue spending pennies without a second thought. That's the kind of edge that transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. So, what should you do next? Grab that jar of old pennies, take a magnifying glass, and look carefully. Study each coin for mint marks, strike quality, and overall condition. Compare with guides, photos, and auction results. And if you find one that seems special, don't wait. Have it graded by a trusted professional. Because the difference between a $5 coin and a $638,000 coin can be just a few millimeters of copper perfection, Remember, this isn't just about money. It's about freedom, security, and the possibility of changing your life overnight. One tiny penny, often overlooked and underestimated, could be the key to the future you've always wanted. So here's my challenge to you. Don't ignore your spare change. Don't assume that old pennies are worthless. Somewhere in your collection, in a jar, in a drawer, or hidden in a coin box, might be a 1980 no mint Mark Lincoln penny, the coin that could rewrite your financial story. And if you want to keep uncovering hidden treasures like this, watching rare coins turn into life-changing wealth, then stay tuned. Because the world of rare coins is full of surprises, and your fortune could be just one penny away.